I basically spoke, or I should probably say speculated, about what's coming next in AI. So what comes after the present wave. And that was super interesting.
Yeah.
So talking about physical AI, understanding why you can't do this with an LLM, and then ending on biological AI. If physical AI can read the room, then biological AI can read you.
We were having a chat yesterday. Where do you see this going? I mean, what's the big picture?
We will need to change our society, our societal and economic setup. Because if you play to the extreme, and this will probably take a while, but of the present day jobs, let's say 30-40% won't be there at all. And our societies aren't set up for an unemployment rate of 30-40%. We can probably capture value out of automation, but our tax systems don't allow that for the moment. So we need to change this. There are ideas around building sovereign wealth funds that take stakes in AI companies above a certain size, so you redistribute it that way. There's a lot of angst out there, and there is a lot of uncertainty out there.
What would be your advice?
Well, I mean, there's this thing. There's apparently a rise in apprenticeships in the trades, because you can probably have a robot that does plumbing, but that feels a bit weird. It's probably quite expensive at the start, so you probably will have a few decades where you can run on that. Whereas if you're an entry-level data scientist, forget it. There will just not be a job. The big four accounting companies have barely hired graduates this year, or last year. And they were one of the largest employers for entry-level junior positions, and they don't do that because, AI is now better than a junior lawyer. So I don't need to hire that many people anymore.
Are you optimistic about the future?
I mean, look, if you take like this wildly optimistic Silicon Valley scenario where, we will hit an age of abundance because we have AI and robots doing all the work for us, as long as we can then evenly distribute it to people, we will need to rethink our lives, because all of a sudden we have more time to do other things, and we don't rely on having to earn an income by driving an Uber for 10 hours, or doing data entry at some insurance company because that's all you learned. But that is possible. And then the opposite is also true. It could become this dystopian thing where, we have a few trillionaires who get all the money and everyone else starves and scrapes about. I don't know what it's going to be. My hunch is somewhere in the middle.
Are we talking years or?
Years, not decades. And I did almost 10 years ago, I did a talk on AI and the future of work. This is before the present day AI was there. And that was because I sort of saw the signs coming. And if you then think it through, I thought, right, this will require a replumbing of our society. And generational changes take a generation. This was true for the Industrial Revolution, it was even true for the internet. It was like 30, 40 years before it really hit. With AI, it'll be 3, 4, 5 years. And a society, a system on a country level, or even global level, does not change in 3, 4 years. Our institutions, the way we're set up, the way we elect people, is just too slow for this.
Government and how should they start adapting to support society?
Well, first of all, they should start thinking and talking about it. This should be, you should argue that every parliamentary session should probably open with an hour setting aside AI and what happened yesterday, because it's so fast. And I'm slightly dismayed by that, but no one is talking about this. There's very few countries where it's being put center, and I think they have to, sooner rather than later.
That's brilliant, fascinating stuff. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.